one more time to our intensive Spanish lesson class, where my goal is that you learn Spanish in 100 days. So far, we was recording 6 videos, and with all these 6 videos, you should have a big understanding how to make some phrases and some common phrases in Spanish about, and also a little bit understanding about the grammar. So in today's video is going to be the verb to have. It's very important verb, the same like it was using the verb to be or ser or estar in Spanish. The verb to have, tener, is going to be very important to build other expressions and phrases, and it's also important for the Spanish grammar as well. So let's go to jump on the computer and let me teach you how to build the verb to have. And by the way, I want to mention that I have created a group in Facebook that you can join for free, so you can post if you have any question, and also I'm going to post as well some additional information that not necessarily need to add in any video. So I would recommend you to join the video. The group is for free, and so you can see me there, and I will be able to answer any question as soon as possible. So anyway, let's go to continue with the video, and let's go in the computer to see how to build and how to master the verb to have in Spanish, el verbo tener. So nos vemos, vamos.
All right, back in the computer, we are going to start with the verbo tener. In English would be to have. So the verb tener is one of the most used verb in English and also in Spanish. So in Spanish, it's very important to have a clear understanding about this verb, because it's a little bit slightly different than in English. So the use is going to be a little bit different, and we are going to learn in this lesson when to use the verb tener. But first, let's go to see how we conjugate the verb, because you know that in Spanish we need to conjugate the verb. In English, it's going to have, has, and that's it. So, but in Spanish, we need a little bit more. So here we have the singular, and we have the plural, and also we are going to have the numbers. So this is our little table that will let you know how to conjugate the verb. So first we have the first person, we have the second person, and we have the third person. So in the singular we have yo, okay, I, and then we have tú, you in English. So then we have he, she, and you, él, ella, usted. So we have for the singular, we have él for he, she would be ella, and you when is a polite instead of that you use for informal. So we have for the polite, we have usted. Then in the plural we have nosotros, we, and then we have for they, we have ellos when it's masculine, ellas when it's feminine, that would be a plural, and usted for you in plural as well. So here we have yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So then when we are going to conjugate the verb, we have yo tengo, then that would be I have, then we have tú tienes, we have you have, okay, or you has, sorry. So we have you has, you have, you have, sorry, you have, and then we have she, he, and you, and that would be has, okay. So that would be how we conjugate in English. So in Spanish, that would be yo tengo, tú tienes, él, ella, usted tiene. And then we have in the plural, we have nosotros tenemos, and then we have, that would be we have, actually that would be we have, and then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen for the third person in the plural, and that we have in English. So again, that would be the conjugation. You have to memorize that, because that is going to be how we are going to conjugate the verb. So again, we go with yo tengo, tú tienes, él, ella, usted tiene, nosotros tenemos, we have, and ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen. All right, so now that we have an understanding how to conjugate the verb, so the next part is going to be when to use the verb tener in Spanish, which is going to be different. So first we have to show possession. So that would be the first one. And it's similar that when we use the verb to have, is to show possession of something, right? So we say, yo tengo un perro. I have a, a dog. So yo tengo un perro, and it's the same like in English. I have is a you have a possession of something, and then we have the article un, which is a, and then perro would be the noun, right? So yo tengo un perro. So the same like you say, yo tengo una casa, yo tengo un amigo, yo tengo un carro, yo tengo una pelota. So we have something that you own something. And here we have another example when we have in a question. So we was practicing the question expression or the question uh, phrases as well. And here we have, ¿tienes un lápiz? So do you have a pencil? So if you look again to this part, tienes, so we are not going to put the yo, or we are going to put any only we are going to use the verb. ¿Tienes un lápiz? Do you have a pencil? Tienes, so you don't have to use yo or tú tienes, only to put, because tienes, remember we are going to use only with tú. So tienes is only with tú tienes. So you don't have to say tú tienes, only you say tienes un lápiz. So then we have the ella tiene una casa grande. She has a big house. So here we are just putting any article. So article, no, an adjective just to say how is the house is big. Ella tiene, she has. Then we have una, which is the article for the feminine. Casa is feminine. Una casa, and then how is the house? Grande is big. She has a big house. So here we have using it only when you want to indicate that something that you own or have something. So and here we have one example that we are going to use if you are going to practice. We have the subject pronoun, right? So the subject, which is yo, tú, él, ella. Then we have the verb, which is going to be the verb tener. So you have to conjugate. So yo tengo, tú tienes. Then we have an article. So we can use de, or we can use a. And then we have a noun. So you can pick any noun like a perro, casa, amigo, whatever. And then you're going to have adjective, beautiful, big, white, whatever you want to use. So this is the way that you can just contract some of the phrases and see if you can create more than one phrase. So then we have the second part would be to express the age. So in English, you will say I am. So you use the verb to be, but in English, we use in Spanish, we have the verb to have, tener. So here we have some samples. So we have, ¿cuántos años tiene? How old are you? So again, in English, we're going to use the verb to be, but in Spanish, we are going to have the verb tener. So cuántos, remember in our last lesson, we was studying all these expression cuántos, which mean how. So cuántos años, so how many, or how many, if we would translate that, which I don't recommend to translate in English, but you will say how many years you have. So, and that is something that when some people in Spanish are learning the English, so we try to say when we translate how many years you have, or how many years you have. So that, or I have 10 years. So instead to say I am 29, so I have 29 years old. So because we are translating from English, from Spanish, yeah. So again, we are going to use the verb to tener, and we say how many. So, ¿cuántos años tienes? So then you have. So then we have yo tengo. So I have, or I am. Of course, in English would be I am 25 years old. I have. Yo tengo 25, 25 años. Yo tengo 25 años. And remember that we was studying as well the number. If you don't remember how to use the numbers, so I will refer to use the class that we have for the numbers. So I'm going to keep the link in the description so you can see that lesson as well. So, tengo 25 años. Then we have another example here. We have María tiene 5 años. María, so it's a person, a María name, and then tiene. So we remember that tiene, María is the third person of the singular. So María tiene 5 años. María is 5 years old. And here we have the construction as well when to use. So we have again some practice, and you can use interrogation plus the noun. A noun, it could be anything. And then we have adjective and the verb. So, ¿cuántos amigos lindos tienes? So that is an example. So you use the interrogation question as well. ¿Cuánto or how many cars you have? So how many, cuántos carros tienes, o cuántos carros rojos tienes, cuántos lápiz rojos tienes. So that would be in a question. And remember that we was using as well in an expression when to use the interrogation mark at the beginning and the interrogation mark at the end. So another example that we have when to use the verb to have as well, or verbo tener. So it's going to express some feeling or condition as well. So for example, in English, you will use the verb to be, but in Spanish, we are going to use the verb tener as well, like to be cold. So I am cold, so we are going to use tener frío. Yo tengo frío. O tú tienes calor. So here we have another one, tener calor. Ellos tienen calor. They are hot, but we are going to use ellos tienen calor. So also we are going to have hungry, or maybe thirsty. You say tener hambre. Yo tengo hambre. Tú tienes hambre. So here you can see that again in English we are going to use the verb to be. Tener sed, thirsty. So tengo sed. And then here we have the construction when to use. So we're going to use the verb tener. So yo tengo, and remember that you don't have to use the say yo tengo. You can say tengo frío. Okay. So you don't have to use the subject at the pronoun at the beginning. So you can eliminate the pronoun and just to say the verb tengo something. Okay. So then we are going to have the fourth option that also that we are going to use is to indicate obligation. So again, in English, we will use as well the verb to have for obligation. And here we have some sample for obligation. Tengo que estudiar is the same like in English when you say I have to. I have to, and then you put the verb in infinitive, right? So you say tengo que estudiar. I have to study. Then we have they have to work. Ellos tienen que trabajar. So you say ellos tienen and then que trabajar. Trabajar is the verb in infinitive to work. And so that will be the construction. I have to. The same like in English, right? Ellos tienen que trabajar. Tienes que ir ahora. So that would be in a question. So here we are putting the verb at the beginning. Tienes que. Then ir ahora. remember that we don't have to use the pronoun at the beginning. So tú tienes que ir ahora. You can say as well, tienes que ir ahora in a question. And then here we have the construction. So the verb tener plus que plus verb. So that is how we are going to build that. And I would recommend it to do some couple of phrases so you will get used when to use that this expression in the verb tener. So, and the last one option that is going to use is to describe desire or some expression or certain expression that you want to say. So here we have some common phrases as well. So you use tener ganas de. So ganas de is a desire, like the feeling to something, and then you put the verb in infinitive. The same like we want using to have tener que. So here we're going to use ganas de. So tener ganas de. So here we have one example. Tengo ganas de comer. So I feel like eating pizza. So it's a desire, something that you want, that you are feeling. So tengo ganas de comer pizza. As well, you can say tener prisa, to be in a hurry. So that as well is another construction. I am late, so you're going to use that, but in Spanish it's going to be with the verb to tener. So estoy atrasado, tengo prisa. I have hurry. So tener prisa. So that would be the other expression. And here we have how you will build for some expression. Verb tener plus ganas de plus the verb in infinitive, of course. For example, tengo que trabajar. I have to work. No, well, you won't say tengo ganas de trabajar. So I really like. I have the desire to work. So tener ganas to do something. And here we have some practice sentences that we are going to have. So tienes hermanos. Do you have siblings? So tienes hermanos. So remember that we don't have to use the pronoun at the beginning. Tienes hermanos. Tengo que llamar a mi mamá. So we was practicing the tengo que to have something to have to, right? I have to do something. So tengo que llamar a mi mamá. Tenemos frío porque está nevando. So that is when you have some feeling, tenemos frío, because it's cold, right? We are cold because it's snowing. And then we have, mi abuela tiene 80 años. So my grandmother is 80 years old. So here we are practicing the age as well. And the last one is the desire. No tengo ganas de salir hoy. So I don't feel like going out today. So that will be the when to use the verb tener. Here I think that that will cover more of the use of the verb tener. So most of this practice that will help you to even build some other part of other lesson that we are going to use in the future, as you can see as well when we are using the verb to have and with other verb. So that will make as well very important. So hopefully this lesson will be able to master when to use the verb to have, and I really highly recommend to practice this verb because it's going to be very important in the future. So until here we finish with this one. Nos vemos en la próxima clase. See you in the next class. So hasta la vista. Adios. Ciao. Gracias. Don't forget to subscribe and to recommend the video so that will be able to help other people to discover this channel. Thank you, everyone. Bye.